Jimmy Page, Jimi Hendrix, Slash, and John Mayer should all thank this amazing inventor for creating the solid body electric guitar. You must all know which instrument invention I am talking about, but do you know the inventor? William Lester Pulvis has brought a lot of joy, good memories, and has influenced a lot of people throughout history. I established my credibility in an extensive research about his life, his career, and his invention throughout history. I will go through his background, talking about his life, talking about why this invention is so important, and why we should remember him, and why we should feel inspired by him. But first, it is important for us to travel back in time to 1915 in a small town called Waukesha in Wisconsin, where Lester was born, the person who brought us the best instrument ever. According to Guitar World, to say that Lester was a inventor, a good inventor, is just one of the greatest understatements. According to biography.com, Lester began by experimenting with sound when he realized that during a concert people were not able to hear him, and that while he was playing in the radio, her mother was not able to differentiate like who was playing and recognize his own son when he was playing. Les Paul began by plugging in his guitar into a phonograph and into a radio speaker. As a teenager, he crafted his first solid body electric guitar. In 1934, he traveled to Chicago, where he continued to play in the radio, and he continued to innovate different musicians with his inventions. It was thanks to a corporation named Gibson that Lester first introduced the solid body electric guitar. In reaction to the market demand, Gibson called in Lester into the headquarters and hired him as a consultant. It is important to remark that Lester was one of the first pioneers of the solid body electric guitar, and that their first prototype was showed to the public in 1940s. The first solid body electric guitar sold to the public was in 1950s. It was because of the lack of faith in the American dreams and the Civil Rights War and different wars in the 1950s and 1960s that different young Americans were looking for ways to express their ideology, and the best way to do it was throughout the electric guitar and different instruments. Rebellious leaders in the 1950s expressed their messages thanks to the electric guitar. Guitar legends such as Jimi Hendrix, Eric Clapton, and different British bands such as the Beatles and Led Zeppelin. They used the electric guitar so they could express their ideology in a more creative way. Different young people, different young groups of Americans use the electric guitar to express messages and their ideas and concern about the civil rights movement and the women's rights movement. The Gibson Les Paul is the most famous and easy to recognize guitar of them all. It is the guitar that helped shape the sound, the attitude, and history of rock and roll and history itself. It is thanks to Gibson that Les Paul was able to revolutionize the future by creating the first solid body electric guitar and breaking the barriers of distortion in different musical genres. In conclusion, Les Paul has created one of the best weapons for people to express their ideas throughout time. Les Paul's death was in 1912. He died of pneumonia in White Plains, New York. Lester Paul was an inventor and a guitarist that revolutionized the music. It is thanks to him that now whenever we go to a heavy music or we go to a loud music concert, that we have such a good sound quality and so nice volume. And because of that, I think that it is thanks to him that we have now so much different live shows and different experiences that we all can enjoy.